Okay, dokie.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot of energy on that one. You love to see it. What's
See it.
happening, people? Welcome in. Hopefully, you've had a good weekend. Hopefully, you're in a good spot where you're going to win your matchups. How are you looking right now in our home leagues, Badaki, with your matchups?
Well, I've been eliminated in the 2 quarterback league, but the 1 quarterback league, I'm still alive. Looks like I'm gonna get the W this week, so talk it up.
Okay, love that.
The biggest thing I need is to win out, essentially,
Okay.
in the 1 quarterback league. And if I win out in the 1 quarterback league, come on, baby, talk it up. Give me that cash prize, my guy.
I think you and I have to win out in that 1 quarterback league, actually. So that will be.
And I need you to lose because
I need you to lose.
Actually, what's the goal with that? Who has the edge right now?
It'll be max points for.
But you have the edge because you technically beat me in the matchup in the 1 quarterback, didn't you?
I don't know, but it will all come down to max points for. So let me see what that looks like right now. So, points for, I'm currently at 1,443. You're at 1,379. So I would have the advantage right now.
Well, I still got DJ Moore playing tonight. Come on.
What's your current point total at this week? 136. Okay.
Yeah. I have DJ Moore playing.
I've got Jordan Addison as well. I
Oh,
mean,
he's
yeah.
dog shit.
Look,
No.
it's it'll be interesting. It'll come down to the wire in that league. In that Superflex league we're in, I'm feeling really good about the squad. Squad's coming together real nice. And in the Dynasty Home League, I'm definitely in playoffs, locked and loaded, ready to go. So, lots to look forward to. Thanks for joining us, guys. Go ahead and do us a favor. Hit that like button as you join today's stream. We're going to be answering questions from top to bottom. Y'all know the deal. Super chats do get answered straight away. There's no obligation to submit a super chat, but it is an option if you want to kind of jump the line there. The first question in order that I can see is from Patrick Mahomey. He says, hey guys, if the Vikings D gets less than 8 points, I'll beat my league mate who's 10-1. Do I have a chance? Of course you have a chance. Anything's possible, really. I mean, defense, there's not a more unpredictable position in fantasy than defense. All it takes is one pick six for you to lose. So, but at the same time, most games that doesn't happen. It'll depend on sacks, turnovers, points. So it'll be a good one to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Hopefully, good luck, brother. Actually, start 2. Olave if he plays. If someone else, you're talking about next week.
Yeah, Olave left the game with a concussion yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think he's gonna play, just because very rarely do we see someone get a concussion and play the next week. But I guess it's happened. Madison most recently. But if he doesn't play, Tank Dell, Christian Watson, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua both didn't have very good days yesterday. I will just say context is important there. At what point did the Rams need to throw the ball in that game? I watched that game. I watched the entire game. They were never at threat of losing that game. Welcome back, Kyron Williams. You know, if you guys watched that video this week where I give my 10 players who would dominate, my hot take of the week was that he was going to come back and dominate with 17 PPR points.
Here we go.
Now, I did not expect him to put up what was almost a 40 bomb in PPR. So, yeah, he puts up a 38-point performance in PPR, but he's not going to do that every week. So, I still have confidence in Kupp and in Puka. They just didn't need them. So, I guess the question is, let's assume Olave's out. You have to choose between these names. It would be Dell for me and Kupp.
Yeah, it will be Tank Dell and Kupp for me. I know the Rams have a tough matchup against the Browns next week.
So do the Texans against the Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one regardless. So, and I don't want to start Christian Watson at all still, even though he was kind of featured last week. So that's where I'll be going there, actually, with Zach. They appreciate you. Jeff, should I pick up Minshew, Baker, or Carr to replace Allen next week in Falcons, D, Jags, or Bucks? I did bring that in my waiver wire video. I did say Minshew and Baker have good matchups here. Minshew playing against the Tennessee Titans, and then Baker Mayfield playing against the Carolina Panthers. And now I am going to say that might change my thought process with the Carolina Panthers. because we all know when they fire their head coach, when they make a whole sweep in the organization, you tend to see like players play better.
Yeah, they have more desire. I bet you those players weren't happy with coaching,
Yeah,
obviously, and
they
want to
did a
prove a
whole
point.
sweep.
Yeah,
Exactly. So they fired Deuce Staley, Josh McCown, Frank Wright. I'm not even sure who is going to be
they
the head
fired their
coach.
social media team. I mean, everyone.
Everyone is gone in that building besides those players that are on that field. So that might change my thought process here. I think Gardner Minshew is the safest one, divisional game, in my opinion. And another one that I did bring for the defense were the Falcons. I did say the Falcons and the Bucks were good ones. I would be leaning the Atlanta Falcons against the Jets there. You expect turnovers, you expect sacks with Tim Boyle or even Zach Wilson. So give me Gardner Minshew and the Falcons.
So I would definitely go Gardner Minshew. I'm with you there. Carr would be fun, but no Thomas, probably no Shaheed, probably no Olave. That's tough.
Kamara, baby, talk it up. I need a W next week.
Yeah. But as far as the defense, I think I would be leaning the Bucks. I know Carolina, they just made a coaching change. Unless they traded for 3 wide receivers and 4 offensive linemen, I'm not sure that that's going to matter too much for defensive purposes. I think their defense probably plays better though. Jeff says
Hopefully.
Puka or DK next week. It would be Puka for me still.
Yeah, it'd be Puka as well.
Adam says I traded Swift, Addison, and D Hop for Monty, Dell, and Javonte. So I prefer Monty over Swift. I prefer Dell over Addison and Javonte over D Hop. So I think you did well.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Howdy. Should I let go of T. Higgins for one of the Green Bay wide receivers? They're all available. Christian Watson, Reed, Dobbs. Wow, that is big.
Look, if you're gonna pick up one, it's probably Watson for me.
I was gonna be Watson for you,
but it's not. I don't have like confidence in.
Let me tell you an interesting stat.
I struggle to see a scenario from now until the fantasy playoffs where you can confidently go in a week starting one of these names. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me tell you something interesting that I found out.
Let me tell you something.
From week 7 onwards, you know who's a top 7 wide receiver out of those guys?
Jaden Reed, yeah.
I don't know. I think it was week 6 maybe. I could be wrong. From week 6 to 12 or week 6 to 11, he was a top 11 or top 7 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Reed. That's what I would say.
Okay.
You must be in a small league if you're thinking of dropping T. Higgins. I think of people on my team in a 12-man league that I have on my bench that I would drop. Like I think of a Jahan Dotson. I'm dropping him for a Jaden Reed. I think of my second tight end that I have on my team. I'm dropping him. Like if you're playing with kickers and defenses, I will drop my kicker. If it's not named Justin Tucker or Aubrey.
I'll be honest. I have Justin Tucker this year, and it's been the most disappointing year for him.
Yeah, I mean it has been pretty disappointing.
We
but like,
might need to have a conversation soon about Justin Tucker.
But like like if I had a kicker and I'm playing with kickers and defenses, I'm kicking them or dropping them first and keeping T. Higgins just in case, just to see how the week goes, and then just pick up a random kicker.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing before I drop T. Higgins.
I actually, unless you have one of those scenarios, I'm actually fine to drop T. Higgins. I have him in a dynasty league. I love him, but I can't think of a scenario where I trust him rest of the year. And
I hear you.
Yeah, I think Reed and Watson are both fine ads. No deadline in my league. Should I try and trade Monty and something for Kyron? I would say Monty is. I don't know. How do you feel about this? If someone sent me a trade for Kyron and I had Monty, I would personally keep Monty.
I would personally keep Monty, but if you're telling me I get Kyron Williams and an additional piece,
I think that's the opposite of what you're saying there.
I tried to trade Monty and something. Sorry, yeah, try to trade Monty and something for Kyron. No, I'm not doing that. I was reading it as the opposite. If you're telling me I was going to get Kyron Williams or get Kyron and something for Monty, I would do that. I'll be interested, but I'll keep Monty as well.
But it's not by much. I could see either outscoring the other, but I just feel better about Monty and that offense and the touchdown opportunities that should be ahead. Keep in mind, that matchup was very, very good for Kyron Williams. He's not going to be a 38-point scorer every time he's out there, but he's going to be a consistent top 12 guy in my rankings like David Montgomery.
Well,
Akshay, what's up, my man? He says, start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Eckler, Ridley, Nico, Hollywood, Pittman, Garrett Wilson. How about Calvin Ridley? I saw it. I saw it all over Twitter. I saw all the hate in the first half.
Bro, it was like it wasn't even hate. It was true.
It was hate. People literally telling this man he had no worth in his life because he didn't have
that I didn't know. I know that like he had 1 target in that end zone he dropped. Didn't see one after that.
Yeah.
And then we were like, holy shit, Calvin Ridley's done. They're not going to target him. And then the first play in the second half, Calvin Ridley. Holy shit. It was night and day.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Calvin Ridley is an extremely talented player. We see that almost every week. He's getting open. Whether that's going to be on the Jags next year or not, I think he's still going to be a valuable player. But this week, Eckler goes up against the Patriots. Hollywood Brown got back in the targets, the target love, if you will. Pittman for sure starting for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go. I'm going to go Pittman, Nico Collins, and Eckler.
Yeah, I second that with you. Pittman is definitely starting. My goodness, 10 for 13, 100 yards, 20 fantasy points. Yes. Adam, I can also trade Monty for Devon, a chain, possibly straight up, or do I need to ask for something more since I have?
I guess why do you want to trade Montgomery away would be my question to this person, to Adam. I guess I'm just curious why you would not want Montgomery on your team. Since coming back from injury, he has scored a touchdown in every single game. He has been extremely efficient. The guy's averaging like over 7 yards per carry.
I just think that people are concerned about the split. You know, they're and that like it's going to be inconsistent. Like it's going to be Monty one game, it's going to be Jameer one game. And it could be both of them in both games or in all games, right?
Yeah, what I've been saying since the bye week is both of these guys are must starts. You have to keep in mind, in week 11 versus Chicago, they were down the entire game. In week 12 versus Green Bay, oddly enough, they were down the entire game. Monty is not a 27% snap player. It's just that was the game plan. So if you're concerned about them being down, I get it. But I just don't think, from what I've seen from the Lions so far this year, that that's a characteristic of who they are. By the way, David Montgomery has scored a touchdown in every game except for one this year. Every time he's played, he's scored a touchdown. And he's averaging over a touchdown per game. So,
yeah, and the upcoming schedule for him is pretty decent in my opinion, outside of championship against Dallas. But Dallas hasn't been the best in protecting the run game either. If you think about it, New Orleans, Chicago, Denver, Minnesota, and then Dallas in week 17. I'm okay with this, with Monty's long-term process here.
Yeah, and I have no problem because I just saw at the bottom he says he has Gibbs. I got no problem starting both of these guys every week. We've been kind of saying that.
Yeah.
Bean wants to say hello, I guess.
Yep.
Hello. This is
Beans.
This is Bean. Do you have anything you want to say, bud? He's probably like, "Can you get me off camera, please?"
Beans down.
Come on, say something. Okay, no, we're not gonna get anything.
No. Beans down.
Anyway, yeah, I'd be comfortable playing both of them, but if I have to, like for example, Montgomery and Achane, I love Achane, but I got way more confidence in Montgomery right now. Would you do like Montgomery for Breece Hall? A lot of people worried about Breece Hall.
I'll keep Monty. I like the offense better. This team is going to score points. I know that Monty is going to see at the end zone opportunities at least 3 times a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll keep Monty.
So I was just thinking about teams that are currently on bye, and if you're trying to get off of Monty, again, I don't feel like it's necessary, but if you're trying to get off of Monty, Josh Jacobs, I think I'd rather have Monty, but Josh Jacobs is on bye right now. Saquon's on bye. I'd rather have Monty than those players though. Could you get Bijan? Probably not anymore. We were telling people to buy him, but I don't think you're getting him after these last couple of performances. What about ETN? He's had some down weeks. The volume's still there. I would do that. I would grab ETN if I could. But other than that, I just think most of these trades are going to be forcing it. I prefer Monty over like Derrick Henry rest of the year or Rachaad White. So.
Yeah, I get it. There's definitely some players you can. Like I think names I would pivot off Monty. It would be Kamara, Swift, ETN, like you said.
Yeah.
So those are some names there.
I agree with every one of those names except Swift, but it's close with those two.
Yeah, I like Swift for the rest of the season. Ricardo, start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Devon, AJ Brown. So you start AJ Brown. I feel more confident with Nico, so I'm going AJ Brown, Nico. And then at the flex, would either be going Chase or Ridley. Both of those guys play each other. Chase just got lucky, man.
Yeah.
Did you watch that game?
I did watch the game. Yeah,
I felt like all of those points and all those catches that he's got was deflected in the air, and he got a second opportunity, and he took it for an extra 20, 30 yards. That was like the chunk of his opportunity. Genuinely.
Well, you're right in the sense of like the targets weren't that accurate, but he is an extremely talented player. He can do that. We have to like those elite players. They can make elite plays. But good schedule coming up for him. So there's an opportunity for him and Jake Browning to get on the same page. Not the biggest vote of confidence though right now. If you have.
Yeah, it's not. I think I'll be going Ridley here. So AJ Brown, Ridley, Nico. Still early in the week, but that's how I'm leaning without really going deep dive here, Ricardo.
So I'll say what my brain is telling me. AJ Brown, Nico, and Ridley. Now my heart is telling me AJ Brown, Nico, and Devon Achane. They play the Washington Commanders, and we already saw the report that came out said Devon could have played last week. We were just being careful with him. That to me says he's playing this week. And if you guys watched that Dolphins game, Devon came out the first drive. When he got injured. So I still think this team wants to feature him. I think they want him to be an important part of their offense. And is there a better matchup to get back on track than the Washington Commanders? So that's where my head and my heart are right now.
I hear you.
We did just get a super chat from Zach. So Zach is going to skip the queue there, skip the line. Thank you for your donation. 2 quarterback league, Dobbs, Fields, both on bye in week 14, have Goff. No quarterbacks on waivers. I have been offered Debo and Sam Howell for CeeDee Lamb, and he has to win.
Debo and Sam Howell for CeeDee Lamb. You have to win.
It sounds like you have to take this trade then. What you don't really want to do. You don't want to not have CeeDee Lamb on your team. But you also, it's not a super flex. It's a 2 quarterback league, which means if you don't have a quarterback, you got no chance to win. And you got to
Let me ask you this, Zach. Let me ask you this. I know you don't have the leverage. Who's his other wide receivers? Would you rather have if this person had Debo and Michael Pittman?
Oh yeah, Michael Pittman.
I would rather have Michael Pittman. I'm pretty sure maybe that owner would know it. Maybe he's not as sharp or he's thinking of a big name.
I'd rather have Pittman. I'd rather have Puka off a bad game. But we don't know exactly what.
Yeah, we don't know who he has. I just feel like you're gonna have to take this trade. Sam Howell coming off a down week as well. He has Devonta Smith.
Ooh, yeah. I'd rather have Devonta Smith.
I would rather have Devonta Smith as well. Now, do you send CeeDee Lamb in something small to try and acquire that? Debo has been a little bit inconsistent, even though he just came off a massive game, and I think that's exactly what that player is trying to do. He had 22 fantasy points going against Philly this week, so it's actually a good matchup. Let me ask you this: Do you do this trade just knowing based off this matchup coming up against Philly, that you do it. And I think I might.
Well, I feel like in theory Philly is a good matchup, but I just feel like matchups for certain teams don't really matter to me as much. You know what I mean? And the Niners are one of those teams where it's like someone's gonna have a day. You know, CMC will always have a day, and then it's gonna be someone else. But look, I mean, I'll be honest though. I don't think if I was the other team, I would send away Devonta Smith and Sam Howell. I don't think I would do that in a 2-quarterback league. It's probably too much of an ask. That's what I would counter with. I would try and see if I can get there. But what you're telling us is that you have to win, which it sounds like that means you have to make this move as frustrating as that probably is to hear. So that's what I would say, personally.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Hopefully that helps.
Pat is a fine start this week. That wasn't from Zach. I thought that was from Zach. But anyway, so yeah, tough position. Try and see if you can get Smith and Howell.
This is Addison's his other wide receiver.
I'd rather have Debo than Addison right now.
I'm actually not sure if. I'm actually not sure if it's worth it. I mean.
Oh right,
I don't know.
That's the wide receiver room he has. Yeah,
like he has CeeDee Lamb and Addison. You give away CeeDee, yeah, you get Debo, you get a quarterback.
Well, but if you don't have a quarterback and you have to win in a 2-quarterback league, there's genuinely no chance that you win.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well maybe you have to do that. How about this? How about you sell Dobbs to a player that maybe has like a Derek Carr, maybe somebody that has who had Daniel Jones who is struggling. Maybe that's what you need to do. You need to pivot off of somebody, and maybe that might be Dobbs, or maybe Fields. Up to you. Anyways, hopefully that helps, Zach. We appreciate you. Yeah. Going back to the top, you want to skip the line, all you have to do is drop a super chat. The next guy in line, AJ Starr. Need a stream quarterback for this week. My options are Pickett, Browning, Mac, Levis, Ridder, PJ, Zach Wilson. My goodness.
Probably Pickett.
It'd probably be Pickett. Hey,
not because he's good. And not because he's competent, but because
400 yards, baby.
But because he plays the Arizona Cardinals. That's
400 yards of offense now. It'll be Pickett or Brown for me. I wouldn't go with anyone else there. I don't know if I want to do Bryce Young this week, but it could be very interesting. Actually, what to do with Cup? You keep him. You don't panic or anything. What to do with Olave? You keep him as well. Thoughts on Olave and Cup rest of the season? I mean. Yeah, let's just answer all this. Obviously, I'm not panicking. I'm not selling. Olave has a concussion. He'll probably miss a game. He'll be fine.
He was on track for his best ever game.
100%. I think that all those points came the first
like 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, first 2.5 quarters. Cooper Kupp, obviously, my thought process last week. I knew he was dealing with that injury. I kind of felt like he was going to be a decoy. He did play 88% of the snaps. So once again, like Zach said, when was he really needed? Going against Cleveland next week, that's going to be very interesting. So don't overthink it, Akshay. Thoughts on Nico Collins and really rest of the season? I like Nico.
Yeah, Nico's building some confidence for sure. We'll have to see what Noah Brown does for this wide receiver room because we quickly forget that the guy had like 350 yards in 2 games. But that might have been more out of necessity than preference. So that's interesting, but you definitely should have some confidence in Nico. As far as Ridley, he's building that confidence. He's doing what we needed him to do. Back-to-back games, over 20 PPR points. He's got Cincinnati coming up. I think the only reason he doesn't perform versus Cincinnati is if they just genuinely don't need him. That offense looks really bad. But man, his schedule isn't that great, honestly. Baltimore in week 15. I saw nothing from that Baltimore game to suggest it's a team I want to face. Tampa's a good one, but yeah, just if he just keeps building confidence, it'll make us more confident in him.
Yeah. Next one is thank you so much, FC. Drop a like, we appreciate you. He says half PPR, pick 2, Tank, Pittman, really Pickens. Let's start there. For me, this would be Tank and Pittman.
Yeah, agreed.
Tight end, Shoemaker, or not Shoemaker, Schultz or McBride. This would be McBride.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, Golf or Kyler. This
me.
one will be Kyler as well. Let me just double check who Golf plays. Yes, it would be Kyler. We appreciate you, FC. Hopefully that helps. Nathan Boyd. Do I trade away Eckler? If so, who's a good trade? We say this all the time. Send us a trade offer you maybe received in, or maybe an offer that, we don't know what people are valuing Eckler as right now.
I would just say, like, just quickly, I definitely am open to it. If I can get an ETN, a Kamara, that's ideal.
I just don't think you can do that anymore.
I don't think so either, but it's worth trying.
There was a point in time, but I'm just not sure where you can go now with Eckler. Alex,
I do think he will be better than what he's been so far.
Yeah, I think so. He has a good matchup this week, if I'm not mistaken, against the Patriots.
Yeah.
So he should have a good bounce back game. Alex Martinez, related to Angie Martinez, if you know, you know, down by 90 with Minnesota defense left and a choice between Fields or Dobbs, PPR pick one.
Who do you want to watch more? Because it's not going to matter.
That's not going to happen.
You're not going to win. Maybe just need some honest truth, Alex.
Yeah,
I would choose Fields, but
you're not going to win, brother. You're just not.
It's probably
not going to be. Yeah, appreciate you though.
It's okay. What's up, Macy? Welcome in, my man. Scribble says, "Talk me off a ledge. Dynasty Jefferson out, Olave's out, DeMario's out. Whole league competing. All I can say is,
we've been there,
and you put your best team out there, and you don't sell superstars because they're injured. You know,
yeah.
Good things are still ahead.
Ride the wave. Hey guys, I don't even know how you say his name. Jagan. Hey guys, who should my flex be? Devonta Smith, Michael Pittman, or Devin Singletary? This would be Devonta Smith for me personally. Michael Pittman, good start as well.
I think I'm actually gonna go Pittman this week. Just really like the matchup versus the Titans, and I think Devonta Smith will have a good week, but I don't think the Niners is actually a good matchup anymore. I don't personally feel that way, even though the fantasy points say that. I just don't think they account for the changes they've made.
Yeah, I hear you.
Jeff says, I'm up 18 points and my opponent has DJ Moore tonight. Do I get the win? I think that's the line. Like, in a PPR format, that's the line. I would say if DJ gets a touchdown, you lose. If DJ doesn't score a touchdown, you probably win.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. Mystic Flames, 12-team Dynasty, Superflex starting 11. Yes, Allen Stroud, Kyler. Wow, get Mac Jones, Kelsey in 24 first? Absolutely not. But wait, contending team. Tight end is Kittle. Can start another tight end if needed. Still absolutely not. I don't think I would want to do this even if I'm a competing team.
I think you would curse your team by adding Mac Jones. That's the problem. I think that's a bad locker room move.
It's bad. The energy in the locker room is for your fantasy team specifically. They're just not going to gel well together. There has to be somebody else you can get, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Kyler Murray is not something that I would sell. Let me just say this. In my own home Superflex Dynasty League, Mystic, I bought Joe Burrow recently. Before his injury, I'd say like 4 weeks before his injury. And I bought Joe Burrow because I want to compete. I want to try and win it all this year. I had Kyler Murray waiting in the wings, and I already have Patrick Mahomes. So I wanted protection from all angles. And I'll just say that having 3 superstar quarterbacks in a Dynasty Superflex league kind of feels like you can overcome any challenge. All right, a running back goes down. It's okay. We still got star quarterbacks. Okay, my tight end goes down or my wide receiver. It's okay. We still got all those star quarterbacks. So I actually don't think it's bad to have 3 superstar quarterbacks. And I think Kittle is a completely fine tight end to compete with. Obviously, he's a little bit more boom bust than Kelsey. But I don't think you're buying Travis Kelsey at the right time at this point.
I would agree. I'm not necessarily sure. I would want that. You know, I would be interested in a high upside player that maybe hasn't even broke out. You know, maybe that people don't believe in, a Jameson Williams, maybe I don't know, a Richie Rich, um, Jahan Dotson. Like, I would want anyone else besides Mac Jones. Even, I know you say you have a super flex league.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Next question here. He says flex Freiermuth, Elijah Moore, or JSN in week 13. Hard to sit Freiermuth moving forward after that phenomenal week going against the Arizona Cardinals now. Coming up this week. I'm gonna go Pat the Dragon here.
Yeah, it's tough. I would say I mean, Pat Freiermuth, the guy that's been on that stash video I do weekly, or I was doing weekly. Excited to see him return. And I do think it's exciting that it's happened with the firing of the offensive coordinator. So maybe it's a trend. What I would say is I don't expect him to be that good every week, but given the matchup that he's about to step into, it would be Pat for me this week. And his next question says, "What's your opinion on McBride with Ertz coming back?" Yeah, it could get messy. It could get messy. I mean, at every moment, the Cardinals have had a chance to move on from Zach Ertz, and they just haven't. You know, it's just like, yeah, he's here. He's here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So, it'll be potentially annoying. That's what I'll say.
Voltron Comedy, Ty Chandler or Madison tonight?
Madison's getting the start apparently. I don't know that anyone could actually give you a confident answer here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not necessarily sure I know who to start, to be honest with you.
I think it would depend how both of these guys play. I would say they go with a hot hand approach. But if Madison is starting, it's hard not to go Madison. I mean, I swear I saw that report somewhere. Let me double check. I swear I saw that report. I don't see it now.
You made it up, brother. It's in your head.
Okay, so Madison is expected to remain his lead role, but could be 1A, 1B between him and Chandler. So, I mean, I really, like, you're going to have to make a gut call, honestly. Go with your gut, because it's probably not what you want to hear, but there's no reason for us to give you a good answer either way, if we're being honest with you. I mean, I could sit here and lie and tell you Madison with confidence, but it's just a lie, because no one has any idea, if we're honest. But if it were me, I'd probably go Madison if he's starting.
Yeah, I understand. Adams have give Tierney 40 from Dobbs there a chance. Could be. You just never know. Depends on how he plays.
Probably
Brian,
not, though, but could.
Yeah.
It could happen.
What's up, guys? Thoughts on starting Thielen next week against Tampa Bay? Is the magic finally gone?
Could be, man. It could be.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about this. I don't know if you remember. We were talking about this right as his bye week hit, week 7. There was a bunch of trades out there for Adam Thielen, and we said, man, should we just start putting respect on his name? And I told you, there is no analytic behind this. There is no statistic behind this. I just have a bad feeling. I have a feeling that this is just not going to last the entire year. And to be fair, the target share has been there. But to know that the floor is a 1-point game, that's scary. And what was a very good matchup, by the way. That's pretty concerning.
Did you watch that? They just bullied. That offensive line is not
awful.
okay. It's not okay.
It's not going to get better.
And was Justin Simmons? Simmons was just.
That's a Bronco, Justin Simmons.
What's his name?
You mean the guy, the defensive lineman for the Titans?
Defensive line. He was just going off. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
I was watching some of that game because I was hoping it was close at one point. I was like, okay, like you scored. But the way they were moving the ball was just terrible. The play calling is bad. Bryce Young is consistently running outside the pocket. He can never stay in the pocket to throw a ball to save his life. Not because of him. but because of the
Jeffrey
offensive
Simmons
line,
is who you were
Jeffrey
talking about.
Simmons, yeah. It's just really bad. So
Yeah. I still think Thielen will have good games, but I have personally moved him down a lot in my rankings this week. I mean, he is my wide receiver 28. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was consistently ranking inside the top 15. So
another thing that can change though, head coach,
yeah.
the whole front office is gone. Let's see what happens.
The concern there is like, even when Thielen was doing his thing, this team wasn't good. So there's some concern for me that's like, hey, maybe let's stop targeting the 33-year-old receiver 20 times a game. You know, that's hyperbole, but you know, it would be different if they were like winning games and it was because of Thielen. But
yeah, I get you.
I think some of the magic is potentially gone, but I still think he'll have good games.
Yeah, I agree. Slant. Just play my best friend against the fantasy, drop 150 on him, kicked him out of the playoffs, contention, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Unlucky.
Congrats.
Unlucky
that always feels good.
Yeah. Start Tua or Purdy. I'll be going Tua.
Same. Great matchup.
Being 101, I drafted and held really up until 2 weeks ago. I traded him in Pitts for Nico Collins, and now all of a sudden, bro going off.
Yeah. I think I still prefer Nico rest of the year, but I'll tell you what was hilarious is the amount of people. Like I said, I was looking on Twitter at halftime for Calvin Ridley, and I was looking for hate, and I found it everywhere. I mean, just a ton of hate. And then it was hilarious because people were like victory lapping that they dropped him. That was what I found the most funny, is the amount of people were like, "You're an idiot. I already dropped Ridley 3 weeks ago." It's like, so how's that working out? You know?
Yeah.
But insane. Like in this scenario, I don't think that's bad. It's not like you can start Kyle Pitts right now. I mean, that team has no idea what they're doing.
No, not at all. And Blaze thinks so as well. Josh, would you trade Jamar Hall, Keaton Mitchell, and Khalil Herbert for Keenan Allen and JJ? 16 team. Your roster is Levis, CMC, Kamara,
I don't need to see the rest. No. Because what's my confidence in Jamar Chase? Breece Hall is, I'll be honest, even in a 16-man league, Breece Hall is the only player I have any confidence in on this list. And Khalil Herbert could go off tonight, and I would still say that. You know, like...
I mean, I think what's really interesting here is that I feel like Keenan Allen is the most valuable player out of everyone because he's going for Keenan Allen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, my bad then. I'm saying Keenan Allen and Justin Jefferson by far would be the side I would choose.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you were saying, no, don't take for Keenan Allen and Justin Jefferson.
Oh, absolutely, the Keenan side.
Okay, I want Keenan Allen and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So no doubt about it. Giannis Antetokounmpo, how you doing? Up by 9 points. He has Khalil Herbert playing tonight. Thoughts, non-PPR. There's a chance, I think. Without Deontay Foreman, there's a chance I think he can get 9 points in my opinion. But I could be wrong.
In non-PPR, it will be I'll say this. Similar like we said earlier with DJ Moore and that guy's matchup, if Khalil Herbert doesn't score a touchdown, you probably win your week.
Yes.
I don't see him getting over 90 all-purpose yards. Because that's what you would have to have.
Yeah, I would agree. I completely agree. He has to find. That's why, but I do think he could find the end zone.
I do too.
So it's going to be very close. Jeff, Laporta, McBride rest of the season, or is it matchup based? I'm still going Laporta.
Same.
Especially with the question marks with Zach Ertz coming back. Once we get full transparency on how that looks, maybe that can change. But I'm going Laporta.
Yeah.
Chris L, PPR Superflex keeper. Herbert is my starting quarterback. Thinking of trading Kyler for Purdy for the fantasy playoffs. Both have good schedules. Purdy has more weapons and Kyler is more mobile. Thoughts?
I would still prefer Kyler.
I still prefer Kyler
mobility,
as well.
And if the Cardinals are going to score, it's probably Kyler Murray. Whereas we saw last week, it's possible that the 49ers have an incredible game and Brock Purdy, doesn't score all the touchdowns. But I think his floor is much safer than what we saw last week. Last week was a little bit unfortunate, but just with the rushing upside of Kyler and the fact that he is the offense, I would stick with him.
Yeah, I would agree there. Should I play Dobbs or Fields? I'll personally be going Fields.
Same. It's close though.
Yeah. Josh, I can also do Jamar and Herbert for Jefferson. I think it just cancels itself out personally. Jefferson's on a
I
bye.
like that.
Jamar's.
But I want to get Keenan Allen. That was a big sell for me there.
Yeah, I definitely want Keenan as well. But yeah.
Is
Tony.
Josh Palmer coming back at any time, at any moment? Because he would be a very good stash right now if he is.
He's on IR. I'm not sure when that is, if I'm not mistaken.
So he was put on IR in week 9, right? So that's 4 weeks.
So he should be coming back this week then.
Palmer could be a low-key, sneaky league winner there.
We'll see.
Anyway, Tony says, looking for wide receiver 3, drop D-Hop or Rice for Brandon Cooks. I'll be honest with you, Tony. I feel like all 3 of these names are going to be inconsistent. I don't personally believe either one of these names are not going to have down weeks, is what I'm trying to say. So it's close between them. Brandon Cooks is starting to do his thing. He's starting to fire up, but it's still inconsistent. You know, he still has more bad games than good games this year. But yeah, I mean, do you have a strong preference here?
I don't have a strong preference.
I was hoping you would.
I personally, I this is what I would say. If I had to choose out of all these guys, I would choose Rice, just because of the quarterback play. It'll be Rice or Cook, just because of that. Cook has been inconsistent, but so has Rice.
So you would drop D-Hop then for Cooks, is what you're saying?
I would drop D-Hop for Rice. I think I'm more hesitant with Cook.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Rice will be the guy because he's Patrick Mahomes any given week, just like we saw this past week against Vegas. 8 out of 10 targets, finds the end zone, 24 points. We finally saw a big game, which we should have saw last week against Philly. But anyways,
yeah.
Joe.
By the way, guys, super chats do skip the line. There's no obligation. It is an option. Just letting you know, we will be ending the stream in about 13 minutes at the top of the hour. So friendly reminder. Joe Mama says, should I trade James Conner and Zay Flowers for Pacheco?
And Zay Flowers for Pacheco?
No, I don't think so.
Let me tell you this. I would rather have Pacheco over James Conner. I don't know how you feel about that.
I would, but I think Zay Flowers is a startable asset right now. It's I don't think I'd rather
think so
have
as well.
Pacheco over James Conner by a lot.
I just think with the upcoming schedule, Green Bay, Buffalo, New England, Las Vegas, for Pacheco, it's just so ideal. But with Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews out, you see how vital, in my opinion, he is. It was a good matchup. Let's see if he can continue it. That's. I think if you add somebody to that, do you get Pacheco and somebody else? I would be interested, Joe Mama. Just all depends. Who do I start? Fields or Dobbs? Need 13 and non-PPR. This will be Fields then for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'll go there too.
Would Noah Brown come back this year? I think he does come back this year.
Yeah. No idea when, but probably.
But he should come back. I mean, I haven't heard anything crazy about him that he shouldn't be coming back or placed on IR.
Yeah.
Michael, Dynasty, Allen and Diggs for Tua Higgins in a 24 first.
I'll take Allen and Diggs.
Yeah.
Where's that 24 first, though? I think that's important.
I actually think that this is an okay trade. I think this is an even trade on both sides. You get the younger wide receiver.
Is this super flex?
This could be super flex. You tear down in Tua at the quarterback position, but I do believe he gets a long-term contract. And yeah, it does matter where that 24 first is. If that's a middle first, I think I'll be okay with that. If that's a late first, I think I would prefer Allen and Diggs side.
Yeah, if that's a late first, Allen and Diggs. But also, depending on if it's super flex or not, that could change the answer. Fryermuth is a fine start this week. Good matchup. Uncle Ted says stashing Luke Schoonmaker's a must. You'd love to see it. Zabby says receiving core was once my strength, now a concern. AJ Brown, Chase, Flowers, and London. Should I be not panic or be looking to make a move? 9-2, just waiting for the playoffs to start. AJ Brown, I'm not concerned about, but we've been concerned about Jamar Chase pretty much
I'm happy
since
to move
the Burrow
Chase.
injury. I mean, that's someone that we would absolutely suggest trying to move. I mean,
I think you can get a lot of people. I mean, if people still love the name value of Jamar Chase, I think you can still get those type of high caliber players. I could be wrong, but tell me if I'm wrong. I think of Mike Evans, Puka, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Tank Dell, Brandon Ayuk. I'll be interested in pivoting to some of those guys, and maybe as I get lower into that list, like a Tank Dell, could you get a Tank Dell and more for someone like a Chase with the name value? I could be wrong in your league, but maybe that person would still rather have Chase because of how big he is. But yeah, I'll be happy to move away from Chase.
yeah, I'm not sure what names are possible from what you mentioned, but if they are, definitely those are names you should target. Go get Drew Lock ASAP. I'll be honest with you, Drew Lock is not going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL at any time, but definitely concerning with Geno's arm for sure. Fields or Dobbs tonight? We've answered this one a couple times. We would go Fields, but I mean, best of luck because it's very close. Go ahead and read that next one.
Mighty Boosh says, "Can you get a tight end to save my life in Charlie redraft? Can you get a counter and accept a couple of acts for $5 for a dime? Trying to buy low of Farmers before he comes back. Any other buy lows?"
Dude,
there's not too many buy lows, to be honest with you.
you could maybe try Isaiah Likely on a bye week.
There's a lot of bye weeks right now. I mean, there's no one that I would want though.
Darren Waller on a bye week. And
why don't you pick up
coming back
Tucker
from
Kraft?
injury. Tucker Kraft's a good name.
Tucker Kraft is somebody you can pick up. You need a tight end. I think you sent me a trade for a tight end, but I think my tight end got injured. I got Jake Ferguson.
Desperate. You could go Chig Okonkwo, but there's not much. That offense.
I'll send you Logan Thomas if you want Logan. Mighty Booch.
It's an okay offer.
That's okay. You just let me know who you want to give up.
But yeah, it is a little bit tough right now. We did get a super chat from Irvin, so Irvin's gonna skip the queue. Thank you for the donation. Excuse me. Traded McBride and Sutton for Jacobs. I have Eckler, Taylor, Laporta, Samuel, and Sun God already. Good trade or nah? McBride and Sutton for Jacobs. Yeah, I like that. I mean, look, it's hard to find a running back with the amount of volume that that Josh Jacobs has. So I think you've done well there, personally.
Yeah.
You already got Laporta, so you didn't really need McBride. So I think you've done well there for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Mighty says, Badaki asked me for Russell Wilson for Ferguson.
That was when he was. That was when
that.
he was going off. That's when he was going off, and I needed a quarterback at the time. Somebody got injured. I think it was Daniel Jones that got injured in that league.
Just not good enough, is it, Mighty Booch? Not good enough.
It's just not good enough, huh? And now I don't have a quarterback. Look at me.
Yeah, you played yourself, maybe. Who knows?
I made it 3, so anything can happen.
Yeet Man says my team is Kyler, Love, Bijan. What's the question here? My team is 5-7. But it lacks some upside. Look, anything's possible, man. You just got to keep putting out the best lineup that you can manage. You know. He says, would you do Amon Ra and Javonte for Achane and Dell or Adams? No, I don't think your team gets better by doing that personally. Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, I don't think your team gets better.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Luke Shoemaker down the stretch will be huge for the Cowboys.
What's the thought process there? It's so random with Luke Shoemaker because he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, look, his role could grow for sure. He wasn't healthy for most of camp. The Cowboys spent a second-round pick on him. So I can see the narrative. The issue is that Jake Ferguson is already playing really well.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to really. I struggle to see a scenario where Luke is someone that you start in fantasy this year, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I think that's why I was laughing, because I was like, are you talking about this year specifically, like, or are you talking about like 2 to 3 years?
He's definitely fun to own in Dynasty.
Yeah, I definitely have some Luke Shoemaker in some dynasty leagues for sure.
Hmm.
Hi, Trey Jefferson for Adams and Monty.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%. I would definitely do that. Yeet man, would you do? I think we answered this one already. Finesse trade Jefferson for Puka and Cole Kmet after I lost Andrews this year. Um, for Puka, I'm okay with that trade.
I'm
Um,
fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I like Cole Kmet. Your boy Joshua's back. He's loving you.
love to see it.
You're looking, you know, bigger than a Snicker apparently for him.
Love that. Warren or
Uh,
Keaton rest of the season? I'll probably go Warren.
yeah, Warren has a good matchup this week, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, as well in Week 13
does.
against the Cardinals.
Yeah. Yeetman
Um,
says Dell could score 30, and Achan could get 30, but Amon-Ra 30 and Javante's 13. That's what I'm trying to fix. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Achan, I love Achan. It's gonna be hard for you to find someone who loves him more than me, but Achan could also get injured again.
Yeah.
And Dell could, this hot streak could stop. I'm not saying it will, but it could. I mean, anything's possible. I just think you're getting rid of the best player on your team, and I don't really want to do that. Pacheco or Etienne in the playoffs? Etienne for me.
Etienne.
Sean says, Bears fan here. Do you think they sell off Fields and draft Caleb, or keep Fields and draft Marvin?
That's honestly, man. These next couple games really depends. I think last game, if Justin Fields played the same way he did last week, I think that could be an interesting conversation. But he has to win the games. That's the biggest thing.
I personally struggle to see a scenario in which they don't move off of Justin Fields personally. And I'm not saying that he hasn't played well, but he's not played well enough for what, look, just my opinion. I think there'll be a new coach there. I personally think there'll be a new system in place. And I'm not saying he's played bad. I just don't think he's played well enough to say, you know what, the limited time I have left on your rookie deal, I feel like we can turn this into a winner with you. I just don't think that's true. I think they will end up trading him, reset the clock of their rookie quarterback. They've got 2 of those picks that are going to be really, really valuable in the top 10. So I think he does get traded, but I also see a scenario, of course, where they do draft Marvin Harrison and just build around him. So we'll have to wait and see.
Imagine having DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison on the same team, though.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I think I would hate that for fantasy, though, just being honest.
Wait, actually, regardless, that might happen. Whether it's with Caleb or Drake or Justin Fields, that is a true scenario that's going to happen.
It could, but I don't think the Bears are going to be that high where they have both of those options.
Yeah, I get it. It's gonna suck if you're a DJ Moore owner or Marvin Harrison owner, whoever. Clearly, it's gonna be Marvin. Anyways, we'll talk about it.
Well, yeah, it's way too early to really know. But the Bears, let's look at their upcoming schedule. I mean, they can beat the Packers, they can beat the Cardinals, they can beat the Falcons. You know, they just almost beat the Lions, so that's possible. So they can win some games and put themselves out of that contention. But yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, you're right. He's probably playing for his job right now.
Yeah,
Every game, I think he's
just
playing
all
for his
depends.
job.
All depends if he wins out. If he wins it, it wins every single game out right now. Hypothetically, I think he stays with them. If he goes,
That's not going to happen though. He's not going to win every game.
But if he splits it, and depending on how he loses, like he wasn't the reason. He wasn't the reason why they lost against Chicago, against the Lions, but he also wasn't the reason why they won.
He was the reason they lost many games to begin the year, though.
Yeah,
he's the reason they lost to Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Green Bay. So it's tough. I mean, I love Justin Fields. I'm just trying to be realistic, thinking about how these organizations operate.
I hear you.
Dope is the next one here. By the way, we're only live for the next minute up to the top of the hour, so keep that in mind. Trevor or Tua in Dynasty? Yeah, that's been a tough question to answer this year.
That's going to be a good conversation all off season because this was the year Trevor was supposed to take a leap. this was a year we hoped Tua took a leap, and he did.
Trevor's been better though recently.
He has been better. He has been better. I think when I think of the weapons around these players and the scheme that they're in, I don't see how Tua is not successful if he's not on the field.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I would lean Tua, but it's close.
Just the way he's been playing. QB 11 right now in the season.
You can't use age as an argument. I mean, one's 24, one's 25. They're both probably going to get long-term deals.
And I think with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, as long as Tyreek Hill is on that team, I think Tua can have crazy games.
Yeah.
And he's there for another 2 years. So,
yeah. Agreed.
Hopefully that helps.
TS, yeah, anything can happen there. But, guys, that is it for today. We mentioned earlier we'd be live until the top of the hour. We do wish you guys the best of luck with whatever you want to happen tonight. I hope it goes your way. Make sure and stay tuned to the channel this week. We will be putting out some content for you guys. But I will say, keep in mind, we do have a break at Christmas. So we won't be probably making content in week 17. And we're going to start kind of transitioning to full Dynasty mode here very, very soon. So if you guys have not subscribed to our Dynasty channel, let's say you've been on this redraft channel for the entire offseason and you've kind of just liked the conversations, or you've, just enjoyed listening to us or being on the live streams. Well, we're going to be doing that throughout the entire offseason. It's just on a different channel. And we'll be specifically focusing on Dynasty football. So I'll put that link there in the chat. Go subscribe to that channel if you want to, stay close and tuned to what we're doing. But outside of that, we will see you guys soon. Good luck this week. All love.
Love.